Welcome back to another video from Power Director Made Simple. Today's video will be a brief overview and comparison of the Ultimate version 21 and the 2024 365 subscription version known as version 22. Now, the Ultimate version 21 is held by many to be the last of the great versions before Cyberlink started to redesign the user interface and adding a bunch of stickers and overlays, as well as some strange AI features that usually did a less than expected job. Well, everybody is entitled to their opinions, so I hope to just show and compare the differences here today. Now, we'll begin by looking at the launch screens for both versions. The only major difference is that the 365 version allows you to jump directly into a number of features such as text-to-speech, face blur, the AI body features, and several more. In addition, the 365 version always has at the top half a feature showing off one effect or another. If you were to take away this top half, the two launch screens are actually about the same size. Now, next up are the two main editing windows for both versions. Now, this is the point that represents the major change and revision to the user interfaces. The first notable difference is that in version 21, it brought up the familiar sample files in the media library, whereas the 365 version starts with an empty media library and nothing showing in the preview window. The other major change is that the so-called rooms along the left side of version 21 have all been consolidated into 6 main menu selections along the top. The difficulty in switching from the old interface to the new interface was learning where certain menu items were relocated, such as the effects room, which was moved to its own top menu, or the particle room, which was moved to the overlays menu, the audio mixing room, which was moved to a spot above the timeline on the left, or the voiceover recording room, which was moved to a spot above the media library window. Now, there was some minor reorganization of the title area in which version 21 tended to create a new category name based on the name of the title. For example, titles with the name of motion graphics were all found in their own category named motion graphics. Under the 365 version, it's difficult to know exactly where they will appear. For example, there's a title called Colorful 32 that appears in the YouTube category, while there is yet a different title, also called Colorful 32, that appears in the motion graphics category. Now, all of this while there is an actual category called Colorful, but it does not contain any titles with the name Colorful. Now, one of the biggest differences in the two versions are the various changes that ultimately occurred within the feature to edit a video clip. In version 21, there was only 2 tabs at the top, depending upon whether you were editing a video or an audio clip. Within the video clip choices, everything was all along the left side. All the choices occurred in one spot with simplified menu parameters to the right of each menu choice. Under the 365 version, there are now 5 main menu tabs along the top, including audio, video, masking tools, animation, and more recently, the speed menu. Also missing from the preview window under 365 was the speaker icon, which gave users the ability to adjust the playback volume. Now, the only way to adjust the playback volume is to use Windows volume controls. There was some major redesign work done with the user interface when it came to editing titles. Some menus were consolidated and some were relocated, but for the most part, the editor functions almost the same in the new version as the old. Once you get used to the new layout, the biggest change was to the name of the window that opened. Under version 21, it was called the Title Designer, and under the 365 version, it is called the Advanced Title Editor. Now, one example of an item being rearranged from the main window under version 21 and moved to its own top menu at the top is the Effects feature. Under version 21, it had its own room as designated by the letters FX along the left side. It was moved to a new top menu, now called Effects. One other major change occurred late in the evolution of the 365 version, with the export window undergoing a major facelift. It no longer opens into its own page with a large preview window and the beloved round gauge at the bottom indicating the exact path as well as the available space, the used space, the remaining space, and the time remaining. The export function under 365 now opens into a relatively small window with just the same rendering parameters being available, but gone are the preview window and the information about space available. You can no longer preview the video during the rendering process. And yes, there are a multitude of other small detailed differences when dealing with individual menus or features, but to go over every nuance of and differences would take forever. The one big difference between Ultimate version 21 and 365 subscriptions is that under 365, users generally obtain an update each month which revises the program in some small detail, such as more titles and stickers, or sometimes in major revisions to the menu designs, such as the export function. Now, Ultimate version users have purchased a perpetual license to that one version. Sometimes they may obtain one or two updates that are bug fixes, but beyond that, the program does not add new material or allow for revised and updated menus. And the financial differences are also substantial. Currently, Ultimate users pay $139.95 for Ultimate version 22. Now, that price is almost never discounted or on sale. If you have version 20 or 21, you can update to version 22 for $89.95. I have no idea about how the most recent release of version 23 affects any of this pricing because Cyberlink's website still makes no mention of version 23 ever existing as of August the 11th, 2024. Now, the price for the 365 subscription version is $54.99, which is the on sale or discounted price from the $74.99. But it seems that it is always on sale. So now, for those users that may watch some of my videos and think, wait, how is he doing that? My screen looks totally different. Remember this, I usually say at the beginning of my videos something similar to, we are looking at the 365 subscription menu or page. Now, if you are using version 20 or 21, your screen layout probably won't look the same as mine, but many of the same functions are still there. If I show the latest update of titles, transitions, effects, and stickers, you most likely won't have any of those. Now, if and when the Ultimate and subscription versions for 23 for the year 2025 appear on the Cyberlink website, you can come to your own conclusions about how much you want to spend and whether it's worth it or not. My personal general recommendation is that if your Ultimate version is over 3 years old, then it's time to do something. Don't just